We've been involved in the kettlebell sport probably since about 2007. It was something that we kind of got interested in just in a fitness aspect to start off with, and as we got more into it and started to train with them a little bit, I got certified actually as a coach in the beginning and was exposed to the kettlebell sport. A lot of people don't really know what it is. It's a brutal sport. It's 10-minute sets of the competition lifts are basically you can do long cycle, which is a clean and jerk style lift. And usually for the pro men, you use two 32 kg kettlebells, and you do a 10-minute set of clean and jerks without putting the bells down. It's probably the best. The best tools that you can use, as far as I'm concerned, for increasing your work capacity and conditioning and shedding some body fat. I guess the biathlon, you do two sets, two 10-minute sets. One is just with the top half of the clean and jerk, which is just the jerk, and then you do a 10-minute set of snatches. You can only do one hand change in 10 minutes, so. There's a lot of technique involved, and to be able to last that long, 10 minutes, it's an incredible amount of technique that you have to learn in order to be able to survive, and it's basically survival. In my opinion, if you incorporated some kind of strength training or like powerlifting, for example, and you wanted to add kettlebells in for your conditioning and increasing your work capacity, I don't think there's a better combination that you could ever use. So we both competed. We've both done really well. We've competed all over the place: Chicago, New York, Columbus at the Arnold's for a couple of years, Michigan, Niagara Falls, all over. So it's quite a learning experience. I mean, like I was saying last night too, that when I was training with kettlebells, I weighed in when I went for my physical at the fire department at 202. So I'm about 275 and change right now. So it really does shred you up pretty good. I'll let you go for a little bit.
Thanks. Kettlebells are not only just good for the competition, but they're good for rehabilitation as well. When Ken first started with the kettlebells, I was actually injured. I had just overgone major back surgery. I had rods and bolts inserted in my back. So after I had the go-ahead from the doctor to start weight training again, I started with kettlebells. Very quickly, I became stronger, resilient, and using the sport kettlebell and the sport moves, I was quickly able to, within 6 months, I tried my first competition with kettlebells. That was with still my back, still being in rehabilitation mode. So they're a great tool. They're great for your joints. They're great for your ligaments. I teach people kettlebells, and if you've got a frozen shoulder, kettlebells will help. There's a difference between fitness kettlebells as well as the competition kettlebells. I was approached a couple years ago if I wanted to teach kettlebells at the gym in a fitness environment. I was a bit hesitant because Ken and I like to go big or stay home. We have that kind of mentality. So as far as a fitness kettlebell goes, the difficulty is people, you're able to use the kettlebells without as much technique involved. So you're able to lift a lighter weight, but not proper technique. So I was kind of hesitant at first, but then I thought, I'm going to give this a shot and see what I can do with it. So I ran with the fitness classes, but I still teach the kettlebell sport moves. I encourage my people to use a heavier kettlebell. I still teach the proper technique, but with the fitness bells, still allowing people to learn properly, but not as strong people in the fitness environment as obviously as a sport. But the most grueling part of this kettlebell sport is 10 minutes. So you watch a powerlifting, watch somebody lift, deadlift is 15 seconds. You watch somebody compete for 10 minutes. It's long, it's boring, I'm not going to lie. So Ken and I decided that we need to change up the sport. So we opened our own club called North American Outlaw Kettlebell Club, and we decided to run an event, and our event was a 5-minute set. So we decided to let people try and lift a heavier weight, but only go for half the time. That actually was very successful, and we actually grew the sport. And now some of the bigger federations are running a 5-minute event. So we were the first couple to actually bring that 5-minute set into the kettlebell sport. So I'm pretty proud of that. I teach kettlebells probably 6 times a week. I have a team. We compete. We coach. We've got a workshop. Ken and I do a lot of workshops for charity. Cancer, this week we're doing a kettlebell workshop for Benches for Benefits. We're doing that for the Nelson Youth Group. That's all. Everything we get is donated to the youth, and yeah, it's a 2-hour workshop. So we just love to live, learn, pass on. That's what like what we do.